Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into something Beijing doesn't want the world to see, the shocking truth about China's Navy. For years, the Chinese Communist Party has portrayed the People's Liberation Army Navy as an unstoppable force. But behind the sleek propaganda videos and grand parades lies a growing list of problems that are starting to tear through the illusion of strength. And recently, one small incident, a single dent on a supposedly invincible warship, has exposed everything. At first glance, China's naval expansion looks unstoppable. The country has the world's largest navy by number of ships, more than 370 vessels in service, with new destroyers and carriers entering the fleet almost every few months. On paper, it sounds terrifying. But what global analysts are now uncovering is that China's Navy might be a paper tiger, powerful in appearance but dangerously fragile underneath. The story begins with a photo that spread across Chinese social media before it was quickly censored. It showed one of China's advanced Type 055 destroyers, a billion-dollar vessel, docked at a naval base with a massive dent along its hull. The Chinese state media tried to dismiss it as minor damage, but the implications were much bigger. Naval experts immediately noticed something far more troubling. The location of the dent suggested structural weakness, possibly from a collision during basic maneuvers. That small dent was more than an accident. It revealed how inexperienced and overstretched China's Navy has become. Despite its massive fleet, China's sailors often lack real-world combat experience. The last major naval conflict involving China was over 40 years ago. In contrast, the U.S. Navy and its allies have decades of continuous operations, joint exercises, and battle-tested experience. Building ships is easy, building a competent navy is not. China's strategy has relied on rapid production, launching new ships faster than any other nation. But speed comes with a price. Many of these warships are built under intense political pressure to meet deadlines, which means quality control and crew training often take a backseat. When Beijing wants to showcase its naval power, everything must look perfect. But inside, sailors complain about faulty systems, untested technologies, and constant maintenance issues. The dent incident was the perfect metaphor for what analysts have been warning for years. China's Navy looks strong until something hits it. That small accident exposed not just a physical flaw, but a cultural one. In China's military system, transparency and criticism are dangerous. Officers fear reporting problems because admitting mistakes could end their careers. As a result, technical and operational issues are buried instead of fixed. When you dig deeper, the structural weaknesses go beyond one ship. China's aircraft carriers, for example, have impressive size but limited capability. The Liaoning and Shandong carriers are based on outdated Soviet designs and lack modern catapult systems for launching heavy jets. Even their newest carrier, the Fujian, which Beijing calls a game-changer, has faced delays and technical issues. Engineers are still struggling with the electromagnetic catapult system, the same technology the U.S. Navy mastered years ago. China's growing naval presence in the South China Sea also hides another truth. Many of its bases and outposts are vulnerable. Satellite images show cracks in artificial island runways, eroded seawalls, and storage facilities that can't withstand modern missile strikes. Despite all the propaganda about dominance, one well-aimed strike from an American or allied missile system could disable an entire Chinese naval outpost in minutes. Then there's the issue of logistics. China's Navy is expanding, but its global support infrastructure isn't. The U.S. has hundreds of bases and logistical hubs around the world. China, meanwhile, has only one overseas base, in Djibouti, and a handful of port access agreements. This means that beyond its regional waters, China's Navy is practically blind and toothless. Every additional mile from its coast increases the risk of breakdowns, refueling problems, and communication failures. And let's not forget about crew training. Many of China's new sailors are young recruits who grew up in peacetime with limited exposure to real-world stress and warfare. Reports from defectors and leaked documents reveal that morale is low, discipline is strict, and officers often promote loyalty to the Communist Party over actual competence. When your sailors are more afraid of political mistakes than tactical ones, you have a problem. The dented destroyer wasn't an isolated case. Similar issues have been reported across China's naval fleet. In 2023, a Type 5D destroyer reportedly suffered a propulsion failure during exercises. In 2024, a submarine was forced back to port after a malfunction in its oxygen system. These incidents rarely make headlines in China because they're immediately censored, but international intelligence networks track them closely. Each one adds another crack to the myth of an invincible Chinese Navy.
China's obsession with appearances also affects its strategic decision-making. The Communist Party constantly pushes for propaganda victories, impressive photos, dramatic military drills, and exaggerated announcements. But when real operations begin, the flaws appear fast. In one joint exercise in the South China Sea, US and Japanese forces detected and tracked every single Chinese vessel within minutes, proving that despite their numbers, China's fleet still struggles with stealth and coordination. Even within China's leadership, there's growing unease. Insiders claim that several top naval officers have been quietly removed or investigated for corruption, which often means they failed to deliver results or tried to hide mistakes. When loyalty becomes more important than honesty, systems rot from within. The same pattern that crippled the Soviet Union's military decades ago is now repeating in China. The world is starting to notice. Western intelligence agencies have leaked reports suggesting that China's shipbuilding boom has hit its limits. The economy is slowing down, raw materials are more expensive, and skilled labor is scarce. The shipyards that once built destroyers in record time are now facing production delays. The rush to dominate the seas is colliding with harsh economic reality, and as China's internal pressures grow, from a declining economy to rising public discontent, its leadership is using the Navy as a symbol of national pride. But when symbols start to crack, confidence fades fast. The dented warship became a symbol of fragility. It reminded the world that behind China's massive propaganda machine lies a navy that still struggles with basic durability, training, and trust. If a billion-dollar destroyer can suffer such damage during routine operations, what would happen in real combat against experienced navies like those of the US, Japan, or Australia? Modern warfare isn't just about numbers, it's about technology integration, command efficiency, and the ability to adapt under pressure. China's rigid military hierarchy leaves little room for flexibility. In a real war, that could be catastrophic. The most ironic part is that China's leaders know all of this and still can't fix it. The same system that built their navy is also the system that prevents it from improving. Without open criticism and accountability, the flaws remain hidden until they explode into disaster. That's why one dent on a destroyer turned into a global story. It wasn't about the damage itself, it was about what it represented. The illusion of perfection is breaking. China's naval ambitions face challenges not just from outside, but from within. Engineering flaws, poor training, corruption, censorship, and fear of failure. These are the real enemies Beijing can't control. The world is watching closely, and every new incident, every censored image, every small accident tells the same story. China's navy might be large, but it's far from invincible. So as the world continues to analyze Beijing's growing maritime ambitions, remember this: strength without transparency is an illusion. A fleet built on fear and propaganda can't stand the test of reality. The truth is out now, and no amount of censorship can hide it again. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global defense and geopolitics. There's a lot more the world isn't being told, and we'll make sure you see it here first.